Back in the day, there was an advert for the new Amazon Alexa. Is that what it's called? Yeah. And it was memed quite a bit. It's the one with like the family and like it says, "Oh, Dad has got a new Alexa. Oh, how does it work?" And it's got like typical day in the life of the family. But the bit that caught my eye is when it first gets introduced, they're just like, oh, if you say, "Hey Alexa," and it turns on, and it can hear you wherever you go in the house. And then the little girl like is like concerned and says like, "Can it hear us all the time?" And he goes, "No, no, don't worry. It only hears us when you say the keyword, 'Hey Alexa,'" and then they just move on, and nobody thought that was weird at all. Like everyone just bought Alexas and stuff, that's in the ad. She's concerned that it can hear you all the time. He says, no, no, no. It can only hear you when you say a key word to it. How the hell can something be deaf until it hears you say something and then it turns not deaf? It literally needs to be constantly listening to you in order to listen out for the words, "Hey Alexa." It can't, if it's deaf, it can't hear the words, "Hey Alexa." There's literally no way it can do. That's not a conspiracy theory, that's fact. It needs to constantly be listening to you. And so people are just like, "Oh, I have an Alexa, but I'm a little bit worried that it's always listening to me." It is, like, and so you would just have to trust that, they don't do anything, malicious with the thing, and they wouldn't. Probably, but at the same time, people's phones are no different. If you have Siri or whatever enabled, it literally has to be constantly listening out to everything that happens around the phone. It needs to constantly be listening in order to detect you saying, "Hey Siri." You can't have a keyword and say something to a device and have it be deaf and hear it. That's the whole fucking point of being deaf, is so that you don't hear anything. And it's just the fact that like that's in the ad. If you go back to the ad when the Alexa was first introduced, one of the concerns is, "Oh, that's a bit creepy if it can hear you all the time." And the dad says, "No, don't worry, it can only hear you if you say, 'Hey Alexa,'" which makes no sense. And nobody thought that was weird. And it's just the fact that, like, whenever I bring this up to people, they're just like, "Oh, so do you think that they always listen to you?" And I was like, "No, I don't think they always listen to you. You know for a fact that they always, like, they have to. It's a factual thing that they have to be listening to you all the time. It's not a you thing. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's scientific. It's not. It's just logic. It's just common sense." But that was crazy. And people are just like, "Oh, so you're not gonna buy an Alexa?" But at the same time, I've got Siri enabled on my phone. It's very convenient. So I'm already participating in the. I don't really care about it. It's not like I'm like, "Oh, everyone get rid of your Alexas." I don't care about it. It's just the fact that not many people know about it. Not many people think about it. Like people who have an Alexa just think to themselves, "Oh yeah, no, it can't hear me all the time." It has to be able to hear you all the time. It has to. That's its purpose. Um, and with phones too, unless of course if you turn off Siri on your phone. But I've got my version of Siri. I don't want to say it, otherwise it'll stop the bloody recording. But I've got a Samsung which I regretted getting. Samsung sucks. No, buy a Samsung phone. And and it's useful. It is useful. So I use it. But it's just interesting how people didn't really think about it, and it's so interesting to have like a conspiracy theory that has to be true. Like it just is true. It's just logical that it is true. And yeah, that's the only conspiracy theory I believe in. Because it's true. It's not really a conspiracy theory. It's just true. I mean, the only addition to that would be, oh, what if they're using the information for nefarious purposes? For example, people who think that they're using what you say as a marketing ploy. So if you talk about dog food for absolutely ages and don't search anything to do with the dog food, but you're talking about it, then your phone or your devices, anything, will hear you talking about dog food and recommend you dog food. And I don't know. Like I don't particularly know about that because it seems like something unethical that somebody would pick up on and go, oh yeah, here's proof that they do it, because they would probably need ethical approval for that. um, and there are some people I watch. Jarvis Johnson did a video fucking ages ago about how they don't do that, but then at the same time, like I get that there's some psychological stuff, like you don't see something until you want to see it, and then you start seeing it, stuff like that. Like maybe you got loads of ads for dog's food before, but now that you started saying dog food more, you're now looking out for any ads, and now you only just notice that you're being recommended dog food ads because you're trying to do this experiment, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, but then at the same time, like that's what I thought. That's just what I thought. But then it has happened to me where I've just been talking about something, and I know I've never got an ad about it, and then I get an ad about it. I was like, I was talking about that today, like all day today, and I haven't searched anything to do with it. That's mad that I'm getting recommended it now. It was one of those things where like I fully did not believe in it, and then I was just on my phone. And I was like, that's actually mad that I just got recommended that ad. That's crazy. So it's one of those things that I don't want to believe it because it seems so far fetched, but at the same time, it's something they could potentially do. It's not that hard to make a program listen out for keywords. The only thing would be ethical approval, and I don't think they would get ethical approval, because that's kind of a breach of privacy. Quite obviously. Although at the same time, if you think to yourself, because the breach of privacy there would be constantly listening to people, but they're already doing that with Alexa and Siri and stuff. Every single day, they're always constantly listening to people, and it's just interesting. Also, I find it interesting how everyone's always really concerned about their laptop camera being hacked and their webcam being hacked. Nobody really seems concerned about their phone camera being hacked, and or just like people hacking phones in general. Are phones more secure than laptops? Why are phones more secure than laptops? Because like Google is the same. If you find a place with a virus on a laptop, then it's going to give you a virus. And that same link still exists on an iPhone. So why do we think that PCs are really easy to hack and iPhones are almost impossible to hack? Because everyone covers up their webcam camera, but you don't cover up your iPhone camera, which I found interesting, because your iPhone camera is constantly looking at you. Well, if you're constantly on your phone, that is. And that's just fascinating to me, the difference. Who knows? Maybe iPhones are legitimately harder to hack. It would make sense because I've never known anyone to complain that the fact that their iPhone has been hacked, but like people all the time complain about their computer being hacked. So, like just statistically speaking, it seems like the iPhones are more secure. I don't know, but I know that's an interesting question. Why do you think that is? And I forgot what the original point of this called. Oh yeah, the Alexa thing. That's not a what do you think about it. That's more just I'm just telling you that that's what it is. I'm just telling you that they can constantly hear you because they need to be. I get so passionate about that conversation because it's something that nobody ever thinks about, but like it's true, like it has to be true. And the marketing team got away with it because imagine being the marketer who, when people said, so you're going to put a device in everyone's home that constantly listens to them, that is really creepy. No one's ever going to buy that. And the marketer's just like, but in the advert, we'll raise that issue. The little girl will say, what, can it constantly hear me? And the dad will say some bullshit like, no, it can only hear you when you say this to it. And just the consumers are so fucking dumb, they'll fall for it. And then the corporate fucking higher-ups must have taken a fucking gamble being like, yeah, okay, that sounds good. We'll just bank on the consumers just not noticing that that's just a lie. and it worked. Like that advert got memed so much, and there were pretty funny memes came out of it, and no one noticed. No one noticed that little girl and the father interaction is bullshit. It's crazy. It's really interesting. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.